Good morning, it's Tuesday and I am back to do a little fascia stretching this morning. I've been calling it Tuesday morning flow because I'm in beautiful Halsa Tuesdays and I'm doing a lot of videos and stuff on these days, but I always like to teach this class for anyone who wants to join in and get a preview of what fascia stretching is and then also try it for yourself. So this class is meant to be to wake up the body, feel energized. Fascia runs from the top of our heads, down through the toes, throughout our muscles, in and around our organs, and it encompasses our whole body. So really the nature of fascia stretching is becoming more and more popular because it's really, really effective. I've seen my body change so much over the last few years since I've been doing this, and with this I actually feel better than I have probably even in my 20s, so that was a long time ago. So it was one of a crazy morning trying to get out the door and get everything ready, but halfway got myself ready, but I'm here, I'm on my mat, and I hope that some of you are here to join me in taking this class. So a couple things. I am going to be teaching along with two of my really close friends tomorrow night for a Kazner's Kick to Shen event. So we might end up doing something where we include viewing for the public for that and then possible ways to donate. So stay tuned for that. That's tomorrow evening, and then Thursday night I'm going to be teaching here at Halsa. We move all the furniture out and we teach a class. This particular class is going to be focusing on the hamstrings. So most people have tight lateral hamstrings right here along the, at the middle belly of the hamstrings, but closer to the outside near that ITB band. And that includes the attachments into the glute area as well. And when these areas get tight, especially from sitting too much, which many of us do these days, it can lead to a host of problems. Some of those being low back pain, which many of us know that connection there, or it could also even be knee pain, or it could be something completely not even related to that area, both above and below, but even like your calves or your ankles, or even like your rib cage or shoulder or neck. So when you have an area of dense connective tissue, that can often really lead to a lot of problems that maybe you wouldn't even associate them being in collaboration with each other. So I think for this class what we'll do is some feel-good stretches for the whole body, but then we'll also incorporate a few of those hamstring focus that I'll be teaching on Thursday as well. There's an Eventbrite set up for Thursday, and through my Facebook there is an event through my Fascia Fix page. So if you are looking for that, that's where that could be. It's also I think linked to Instagram, or I'm going to do that today. So would love for you to join me and tackle these hamstrings. So one other note I'd like to make is that even though we're focusing on hamstrings, the quads and hip flexors on the other side of the body play a significant role into the hamstrings even being able to increase their flexibility. So we will focus a little bit both on those areas along with the hamstrings today too. So first, find a mat, have a pillow or a towel or something that you can use for your head when we're laying on the floor. So I tend to do flat socks off just to get a little bit stick into the floor to add some resistance. I'm chilly, so I have my socks on now, but I think as I keep going, I might take those off. So feel free to have bare feet when we are starting this. So first, what I want you to do is come to stand with your body weight distributed 50-50 in both legs. I'm going to talk more about this as we continue through this class, but then in a lot of my subsequent videos. I'm trying to take a deep connection with the nervous system. The fascia has tons of nervous system, not in the sense that you're going to feel it the same way you do with your muscles, but there's a huge sensory component to the fascia. So when you engage your brain to think about that distribution of your body weight in both legs, it gets the message more evenly throughout both sides of your body, and all of a sudden you're not compensating for one side as much as if you wouldn't have thought about it. So 50-50 body weight in both of your legs. So feel that weight distribution. Next, I want you to think about your footprint in the sand. So imagine that your foot has contact points with the pad of your big toe, pad of your pinky toe, and your heel. When I do that, I often miss my pinky toe, or the pad of the pinky toe, so I have to find that connection. And when I do and I take that moment to make it, my body all of a sudden connects more fully together. And my left leg starts to kind of say, hey, I'm here to work too. Find what that is for you. 50-50 both legs, footprint in the sand, 3 points each foot. Pelvic floor is going to lift up, and you're going to tighten your transverse, which is a deep core muscle, deepest, closest to your pelvis and your spine, giving you first line of support for your pelvis. When you cough, that activates it. I'll go into more detail another time for that, but just think about your deep abdominal muscles engaging here. Take your hands to prayer, thumb straight out from the nose, and you're going to press your hands together. Feel the activation in your chest and in your shoulder blades. Slight chin tuck to lengthen the back of the neck, and then pull that belly in a little bit, and your rib cage comes forward ever so slightly. Keep pressing your hands together, keeping resistance happening. Draw the elbows in to tap. Open it back up, press your hands in, feel that activation. Draw your elbows in to tap. This is stretching the fascia in your chest and in your scapula, under your scapula, in and around the shoulders and necks, that whole area. With fascia stretching, you add resistance to shortened muscles, and then you move through it. So we're adding resistance here with our hands pressing together. Draw the elbows in to tap. One more time, hands pressed together. Find that chin tuck, alignment and posture. Elbows come in to tap. Shake out your arms for a second. Lift your shoulders up to your ears. Drop them back down into mountain pose. Reestablish that posture. Many times people lift too much here. Take that rib cage in a little bit. I'm already getting hot, so that's good. Another shout out to Zaya, Heather Beamer, for Zaya pants and Zaya sports bra. Loving this stuff. Okay, getting warm. Just that one exercise. Next, we're going to go into the area in and around the shoulder blades. So, rule is with fascia stretching, you shorten the area that you're stretching. Add resistance, movement in the opposite direction. So I'm going to bring my arm up to 90 degrees. My other arm, my strengthening part of the body, is going to wrap on the outside of my elbow. I'm going to open up that side as much as I can to shorten that area. Resist that left elbow back. I know I'm switched here for my rights and my lefts in the video. So you can do either arm. You can listen to what I'm saying, or you can also mirror me. I'm resisting my elbow back. I'm engaging my core so my spine is not flipping around. And I'm going to use the strength of my other arm to pull this elbow across my chest. Open it back up. Resist the elbow back. Pull it across. I love this one. This one, if you do it in the morning, allows you to achieve better shoulder retraction posture throughout your day. In turn, causing less neck pain and discomfort in our day, which everyone would benefit from, right? Looking forward, looking at text messages, doing email work, I do the same thing. Fascia stretching is what saves me every day from having headaches, which I used to have. Let's do one more together. And ground it down, check in 50-50, footprint in the sand, strengthening my right arm as I resist and stretch the fascia in my left. Let those arms come down to rest. Good. Shake them out a little bit. We're going to move to the other side. So opposite arm, 90-degree angle, pelvic floor, all that good stuff lifting up, grounding through your feet. Other arm's going to wrap around, grab the elbow. You're going to shorten this area as much as you can in the shoulder blade of the arm that's at 90 degrees. Kick that elbow back, so you want to resist it this way, which is what makes this fascia stretching so confusing. It's really opposite of what we've done or that our body thinks it should do. As you're resisting that elbow back, you're pulling it across the chest, stretching the fascia underneath the scapula on this side. Keep the resistance. The key is that resistance has to happen throughout the whole movement. If you feel like you're losing the resistance, go slower. Pause if you lose it. Get it again. Then you're going to be working through possibly some scar tissue or dense fascia. Resist the elbow back. Draw it across. One more time. Whew. This work, when I say stretching, I often think I need to start saying more about it being a real workout, because your body's getting strengthened everywhere that's doing the work from the area that you're resisting stretching the fascia. So I feel like I'm stronger now too, and I haven't lifted weights for a long time, but this work is really strengthening for the body. Okay, so we did the can opener. We did 90 degrees at the arm. Let's go into the hamstrings right away. So I'm going to turn to the angle here so you can see me a little bit better. So we have to shorten the area, the hamstrings, add resistance, and move in the opposite direction. Now, there's a ton of ways to do the hamstrings, and I'm going to show you 3 different positions. So one will be standing, one will be in runner's pose, and then one will be laying on your back or supine. So take the hands to the hips, and what we're going to do here is take 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. So just a small separation of your feet here. So we are going to stretch the hamstring and the leg that's in front, so right here. What I'm going to do is keep my hips squared. They might want to move around a little bit, but keep them squared to the front. I'm going to lift my toes up because that feels more natural to me to get the resistance in that hamstring. I'm going to drive that front heel down and back. Once I feel that activation in the hamstring here, strengthening this leg, I am going to draw my hips in the opposite direction, back and down. I might bring my body weight forward a little bit just to kind of counterbalance. That's going to get all the way up into the attachment on your butt bone or ischial tuberosity. The key is to get that resistance down and back. If you want to pull that front leg back, draw your hips back, keep resisting the whole time. I feel this right into the attachment. Most people, especially women and athletes, will have attachment scar tissue on those hamstrings. I did, bad. I had a lot of scar tissue. But when you can change the scar tissue, that's when you're going to be able to achieve increased flexibility, because that scar tissue is never going to allow the flexibility to happen if it's there. It benefited you to support you, but it can inhibit you as you continue to age. You want to be able to clear it up, get to those muscles. Scar tissue doesn't allow you to get to them. We're going to change this up just a teeny tiny bit. I'm going to take my heel and I'm going to move it out a little bit. So I just open it up. My hips are still squared to the front. I'm going to do the same thing. My front heel is going to resist down and back. Once I have it, hips are still going to go straight back, but maybe a little bit onto the opposite diagonal. Getting a little bit more lateral hamstrings here. Back up without resistance. Push that heel down and back and front. My quad is strengthening on this leg that I'm standing on. Making sure that this other knee doesn't go past your toes. We don't want to compromise the knee or the back here. Front heel down and back. Draw the hips. Back and down. Went a little bit further on that one. Last one, resisting down and back. Pull it back. Okay, all right, shake it out. All right, I really suggest for everyone to do a hamstring stretch like that versus doing it like bending over, leg up on the bar. That's okay, but you never want to push it past a point, because when you overstretch, your body will protect you by adding more scar tissue and densifying that fascia. So this way, if you're going to go for a walk, a hike, a bike, prior to your yoga class, try to stretch your hamstrings like this and see what happens. I do this before every yoga class. My yoga practice is drastically different. If I don't do it, it's drastically different, but in the other way. Other side forward. So I'm going to bring the other side forward. It's not a huge separation. You can adjust that distance as you're doing it to fit your body. And this is the side that I have some continued piriformis issues, because I'd had that dense scar tissue on my ischial tuberosity from my hamstring tear years back. And so this feels totally different to me on this side, and that might be the case for you. If it feels like, oh my gosh, ow, you probably have some scar tissue. So you're going to start with your body weight forward slightly. I'm going to lift my toes up, drive that heel down and back. We're just going straight on to start. As you're resisting the heel back, bring your hips back and down. I make faces and make grunts when I do this side because it's different. Heel down and back. Draw it back. Strengthening your standing leg, benefit, bonus, as I stretch the fascia on my hamstring on the right. Draw it back. And it changes. Every time you do it, it's going to be slightly different. For any of those that are watching and you're trying it, I would love for you to leave some comments and let me know, like, hey, I feel it, I get it, I don't get it. So I really want to get this information out, because it changed my life, and it's changed a lot of people's lives that I've worked with, and helped to clear up a little bit of scar tissue that just caused a lot of problems. 2 more. Heel down and back. Draw the hips back. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more time. Straight on, down and back. Pull the hips back. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. All right, shake it out for a second, or I need to. And we're gonna open up that heel again a little bit to the side. Okay, so we were here. Just gonna open up that foot, just a small step to the side. Toes up, hips are squared, shoulders squared, core is engaged. So you're gonna resist the heel down and back, same as you just did. Getting a little bit more of the lateral hamstring. I'm gonna turn my foot out a little bit. My hips are gonna go down and back and a little bit, holy cow, to the left. So when you really take your time and really get it, the resistance in the right direction in place, it's just incredible how different this is compared to regular stretching. My back is staying supported and straight, neutral, by engaging my core. 2 more here. Cracks, pops of the hips, things like that, totally neutral, can still happen. It's just natural adjustments. I mean, you can hear me popping. Oh, good. Okay, shake it out. Whew. Okay, so we did hamstring resistance stretching in standing. I'm gonna do a little bit with my rib cage because I do a little bit with my rib cage whenever I have the opportunity to fascia stretch because it makes me move better throughout my entire life. This has been a game changer. I've done this in many of my classes, and I teach this in a lot of classes that I teach as well. So this area can get bound down just from natural movements. I talked about this last week, where we create certain strong patterns of movement when we're reaching for something. It's reaching kind of the same way, the same arm. So the opposite just feels different in how our spine moves, how our ribs move. So the fascia on one side is usually more dense and constrictive than the other. So we are going to stretch this fascia on both sides of the rib cage. So the rule of thumb, shorten the area. We're going to shorten this side first. Notice how my hips just did some weird stuff. Lock them in and then shorten that area. Add resistance and movement in opposite directions. So I'm going to take my fist on that same side, grab at the wrist. I'm going to resist my elbow down, but I want to resist from here. I want to feel that strength in the resistance as I come up and over. Holy cow. I have a lot of scar tissue on this side. My diaphragm moved around a little bit when I had during my pregnancies. And so I have a lot of scar tissue here. And it's almost like, I've used this before, but dry, hard duct tape that I'm like literally peeling off a surface. Sounds lovely, right? Resist it down. Sometimes I get kind of little bolts of adjustment of that tissue. One more time. Resisting down. Keep resisting down. Up and over. A little bit further. And release. Deep breath in. Big exhale out. Okay, other side. Feet apart. Make a fist above. Grab at the wrist. Lower that side. Resisting the elbow down, but come from here. Feel your obliques kick in. And then take that power of the arm and up and over. Other side. Resist down. Activate. And pull it over. Breathe. 3 more. I kind of am coming more from my arm on this one, so I'm getting a little lateral lat stretch. Not a bad thing. I'm just not able to activate my rib cage. There I go. I have to go a little bit slower. I have to force it a little bit more because I'm not able to get it as much on this side as I was the other side. Resist down. Use your legs, ground down. Feel that activation in the rib cage. Breathe. One more time. Resist down. And up and over. Okay, good. All right, we're gonna go down to the floor. I think we have a decent visual there. Okay, thanks for everyone watching. Okay, so as I said, we are gonna do runner stretch. So to do this, take that pillow or blanket that I talked about in the beginning, and we're gonna use that for padding for our knees. No need to suffer through here. So you're gonna bring one foot in front, and the other knee will be on the padding. So starting with the leg that we started with first in standing. So we are going to stretch the fascia in the hamstring in that front leg. So hips squared, shoulders squared, chin tuck, core engaged, posture, all that stuff. Don't worry about it being perfect, just want to mention it. So what I'm going to do is shorten this area. I'm going to add resistance by kicking down and back, and then pull my hips back in the opposite direction. So you can come forward and put your hands down. You can bring your hands here, wherever is most comfortable. I'll start here. So I'm going to lift my toes, and I'm going to kick my heel back. This knee naturally resists forward. As I keep that heel down and back, I'm drawing my hips in the opposite direction. If you have something to help you balance, like a coffee table, I'll show you here. Use it. This isn't supposed to be like, oh, I'm balancing and working on the balance. It's really just getting the stretch in the fascia in front. So this is helpful here. Like I said, a coffee table, a chair. I'm drawing my hips back as I press down and back with my heel. Good. Coming forward, resist the front heel back. Keep resisting it back. Try to activate kind of in that attachment of your butt bone area and see how that feels. 2 more here. Good. Bringing it forward without resistance. Front knee resists down and back. Back knee resists forward. Draw back. Good. Let's change it just a little bit. We went out when we were standing. Let's go in. So you're just going to take that front foot to the right, or your left, depending if you're on the other foot in front. You're going to cross it. So my hips here, my knees here. Same thing here. I'm going to shift forward slightly. Front heel resists down and back. I'm going to draw my hips back and maybe in the opposite direction, ever so slightly. Oh. Needed this one? Let's do 2 more here. Feel free to do more. Draw the hips back. This type of stretching is very protective. You don't run the risk of overstretching it because you never go to end range. Good. Okay, let's switch it up. Let's just take a moment here. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale. Okay, switching other side. So, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. By the way, as I release that other leg, I can just feel things kind of reacting. And what's happening there when you feel that kind of like, whoa, that feels different, is that you're stretching. You're changing that connective tissue and fascia enough that the nerves that leave our spine and talk to our muscles throughout our body have a different, more open pathway to get the message to those muscles. But those muscles aren't used to that. So they're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? How am I supposed to work? They'll figure it out, but there's ways to do some grounding work after you release the fascia a lot. And we can talk about that too a little bit, but for purposes of today, let's just keep basic. So we're going to stretch the fascia in the thigh and the front. Hips and shoulders square. Shift your body weight forward a little bit. You're going to lift the toes in front. Kick the heel down and back. Once you feel it, activate. Keep the resistance going. That's the key. Okay. Draw the hips in the opposite direction. This is my leg. Everyone has their leg, their side. This is mine. Be more gentle if you need to. And listen to your body. I can't go quite as far back on this one because it starts to be a little bit uncomfortable. And so I'm just going to keep it a shorter, smaller range of motion. Good. I'm going to do 2 more here. I'm going to go a little bit more specific. I'm going to focus a little bit more. I really feel it throughout the whole belly of the hamstring. 1 more time. Resist it back. Good. Rest for a second and then walk that heel in, crossing your belly button just ever so slightly. Now your resistance is the same thing. Front heel, down and back. I'm going to get a little bit different stretch. I'm going to bring my hips back and maybe to the side. Oh, a little bit. Coming forward again. Add that resistance, draw back. Good. 1 more time. Good. And release. Back to center. Sit in a comfortable position. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale out. Good. I hope you're doing okay. Let me know if you have any questions. And then I talked about doing hamstrings in standing, doing them in runner's pose, which we just did. Then I also talked about doing them in supine on your back. So grab that pillow, then move it back a little bit so you're going to use it as an actual pillow. And make your way down onto the floor, laying down. Okay. I just want to make sure you can see me. I think we're good here. Okay. So from here, I'm actually going to bring this video down a little bit. It looks like it's a little bit dark. Sorry for those of you watching. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. All right. Eventually I'll get more technical equipment for all of this stuff. So, soon to come. Okay, on your back. We are going to draw the knee to the chest, doesn't matter which one, we'll do both. The hand on the same leg is going to go to the outside of the knee. The other arm's going to go up to the sky. It's going to cross the shin and grab the outside of the ankle. You can lift your upper body up for leverage with this if your neck is okay, or bring it down, whatever is best for you. I'm going to kick my heel down towards my glutes, so I'm activating the hamstring. When I do, I'm going to slowly bring this foot up, and then with the other hand, I'm going to push my knee in slightly, like this. Come back down without resistance. I just tilt it a little bit, try to stay neutral. Kick it down. Good. And then this knee is going to push in. You're going to get a little bit of ITB and lateral hamstrings. Open it back up. So you start with the knee wide. Kick down. Start to pull it up. And as you do, press that knee in. 2 more. Kick down. And bring my head down. My neck's getting tired. Pull that foot up. Press this knee in. Again, you add your resistance and you add your range of motion. So if you just go an inch, that's fine. And up, and let it rest. I sometimes have a difficult time with my grip because I have a messed up hand a little bit. So I sometimes need to take breaks because my hand gets tired. Okay, other knee to your chest. Same hand on the same side goes to the outside of the knee here. Other arm goes up, inside of the shin, and it wraps and grabs on the outside of your foot. Try not to let your ankles sickle like this. You want to keep your foot neutral. So keep your eyes on it here. Find that neutral spine. Good, I'm settled here. Kick my heel down. Feel that hamstring engage. Heel the arm up. Push the knee in. And again. My core is working. My breath is flowing. Ooh, good. I'm losing my resistance a little bit towards the top right here. So I'm going to go a little bit slower. I'm going to make sure I'm resisting in the opposite direction. I can tell already my hamstring is so much looser than if I had started with this from doing all the other hamstring stretches. And up, last one, kick down, and up. Good. Take a deep breath in. Big exhale out. Roll to your side to come up. We are going to finish today our Tuesday morning flow with some resistance child's pose because I basically do them every day and they feel good. And it takes a little bit of everything that we just did and it calms your body down a little bit, but it opens up that chest again, allowing you to have really good posture for the rest of your day. So you can continue to be on a pillow or roll your mat up for your knees here. I bring my knees wider and my feet together. So from here, I'm going to walk forward with my hands more than if I were just right over my hands. I'm going to shift my body weight forward towards my hands. So my shoulders are over. Lift your belly. Make sure you not to sway here. Lift the belly, tuck the tailbone. Resist the hands down and back. Feel it in the chest, maybe in the lats. Your knees will naturally resist forward. Keep pressing down with those hands. Keep containing your belly and your core as you draw your hips away from that anchored down wrists. Neck is in neutral. Come back up. Resist the hands. Down and back, knees forward. Tummy's tight. Press into the hands. Draw your hips back. Neck's in neutral. I like to repeat things because it gets that your body in those positions, even when we realize that maybe we come out of it a little bit. And down. 2 more, body weight forward. Add more resistance. Challenge yourself. This is a good place to do it. Keep pushing down with the hands. Breath. Good. One more time. Shift, resist. Draw your hips back. Good. And rest. All right. Thank you for joining me on my Tuesday morning Fascia Flow. I'll be here again next week with another class to teach online. But like I said, if you have a free evening on Thursday, come and see me here. The classes are intimate, and oftentimes, like if you have something specific that you need to work on, we can kind of pinpoint 1 or 2 stretches that I can actually do on you and teach you to take home with you as well. So thanks for joining me. Maybe share this video with your friends if you think someone might benefit from stretching the fascia on their hamstrings. I know I can think of a few. And join me again. Thanks. Bye-bye.